What is up, Scrub fam? I am back, and as promised, another deck profile. This week is really busy. We have release week this week. We have so many things to do, so many cards to play. We have so many packs to open, and if you're going to be doing that, make sure you check out Beard Collectibles, best sponsor in the world, Alec Pastrana. Absolutely amazing. He's got the best prices on sealed products. He's going to be working diligently all day tomorrow until it's done. He's going to get all those orders shipped out so you guys get your product in hand as quickly as possible. So, shout out to them. Also, if you have a chance, check out the Shinron Layers deck builder that I've been using for all my videos right now. Really easy, really clean layouts for you so you can easily see everything. So, be able to check out Shinron's layer. Also, lots of good content. So, articles about people who win things. So, that's kind of dope. And then also, Finnick Gaming, if you look them up on Facebook, they are currently going to be holding a Octagon tournament this Saturday, I believe starting at noon, and you're eligible to win some prizes there. So if you don't have the opportunity to go to a local, go ahead and stop by, sign up for that tournament itself, get some reps in with the new set, and just enjoy yourself. All right, so let me go ahead and jump to this deck profile. This is the one I talked about doing next. This is Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, and this is Hand Control. So the deck itself works off the fact that the leader just allows you free acceleration on turn 1. And so that plays into something I'll go over here in a second. So basically the way this works, if you're on the play or the draw, your first turn, you don't charge. You place a card from your hand in the drop area, and then you take 2 energy. You basically take 2 cards from your life, and then you set them as your energy. So a few things to note when it comes to this ability. Number 1, yes, this ability is incredibly powerful. Number 2, it makes working with your energy bases, especially since you're capped at 6, really difficult to play black cards. I tried to list it first that ran a small number of black cards. In too many games, I would end up just getting really unfortunate, and having one of the black cards from my life ended up on my energy area, and that kind of would screw over the strategy of the deck, especially when I was trying to make the most optimal plays. So I decided to go blue-green, pure, and then of course, you can go from there and extrapolate from there what you want to do. I also think there's a lot of potential blue-red builds. I'm going to be testing that tonight. Hopefully when I play some games with Pat. And other than that, if you flip over to the other side, basically on his Awaken, at the end of the turn you untap 3 energy, and then you swing at your opponent, draw a card. So his backside's incredibly powerful, especially when you're playing in a deck that wants to invest their energy every single turn. And I really love this leader because of the fact that it allows you to have such tempo and use all of your energy every single turn. So effectively, you get to do way more than your opponent can, and so it's nice to have some lower drops in your deck to kind of help fill out that extra energy at the end of the turn. So, just to go over the list itself, let's start off with blue. We're not running that many sources. We're running 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 blue sources in the deck. We really need to keep that number low because of the fact that we're trying to mostly hit a mostly green energy base, especially because we need 2 blue and 4 green for Broly Rampaging Horror if we ever want to cast him. So blue has to stay relatively low as opposed to we need to have green be higher. And so we run 4 energy boosted Majin Buu. It's just a solid cantrip. You have to play it at your 1 slot. 3 Bulma Supporter of the Future, mostly because of the fact that it can fetch green for you if you need it. 4 Whis Coercion, it's our best negate that we have access to right now. 4 Objection, you really just want to see this on turn 1 because it sets up your turn 2 plays and sets up the board states that you want so you can win the game as quickly as possible and lock your opponent out as quickly as possible. And then our 4 10k boost, have been preferring Powers Combined Kibito Kai over Boost Attack Piccolo because it's essentially a Jocko and boost attack in 1 card, and it's been testing really well as of late, so I really like this card. I've been playing it on my blue decks. When we go to green, we have our Broly Dawn of the Rampage, so we're just running a Broly line, and I run 16 Brolys. I max out, so like I said, I use the term pure a lot. That means this deck is just going to be maxing out on almost everything, so we just generate more consistency. So 4 Broly Dawn of the Rampage, 4 Endless Evolution Broly. This is something I know it's a promo, so people are going to be talking about getting access to it, but you really are going to want to have this card if you're trying to do Broly-based decks, especially because it allows you to KO something when you play the card, and it just helps making it evolve into Broly the Rampaging Horror as well as Rampaging Lifeform Bryo Broly easier. So I like having this in this deck, and of course it helps make it so our Broly Dawn on the Rampage is a guaranteed hit each time, and can sometimes help us fill our energy drops for the turn. Then we have 3 full power Trunks. to tutor off of the Bulma support of the future. Something that's cool about this deck is if you hit objection correctly, you can second turn full power Trunks onto the table, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's not really any scenarios where you want to do triple strike on the second turn of the game, but having that option is pretty cool, especially when your opponent's not going to be able to do anything to mess with the cards itself. And then we have 4 Hidden Awakening Kale. It's just one of the best removal cards in the game, and it's just a 0+5k, so that's incredibly strong. And it has crit, so it helps play into our hand destruction because of the fact that it denies our opponent's cards. 4 Furious Shell Vegeta. So this originally I was testing some black cards in the spot, so increasing Evil Mass Saiyan. But like I said before, I got screwed over too much by the effect itself. Furious Yell fits this deck really well. I don't want to play TN because I never really want to sack 2 life. Most of the time I'm going from 5 to 4, so Furious Yell is perfect, and you can play this on the second turn of the game, especially if you objection, as stated before. 4 Cell Absorption. Card is just gas in this deck. You just want to have as many discard spells as possible, and I just run on 4 Cell Absorptions, 4 Rampaging Lifeform Bio Broly, and 4 Broly the Rampaging Horror. This deck accelerates out energy incredibly fast, and it gets to this game plan much faster than the deck, so I think that's why this is going to be such a viable deck going forward, and is something that you're going to have to prepare for going forward, because there's going to be different iterations of this deck. There's going to be different styles. I know people are messing with mono green. I prefer green-blue because I like having access to Majin Buu. I like the Bulma line. I like Coercion, and I like Objection, because if you're playing your 4th energy on turn 2, you have enabled everything in your deck. So essentially you can Objection, then play with a green source Broly Dawn on the Rampage on turn 1. On turn 2 you could play a Rampaging Lifeform Bio Broly, and then you can just start building a board that your opponent can't deal with, and they're Shannon cards. So this strategy is really good against a large portion of the format, especially decks that don't have access to major card draw. And of course, any leader that awakens too early, and if you don't awaken like quickly after, the game can spiral out of control for them, because then they have to spend cards on your attacks, and they're having to spend cards because you're taxing them with your discard spells. So this has been a really fun deck to play in testing so far. I've had a lot of success with it. I suggest that you download it, get it over to your own Octagon, and then just take the time, play some games with it, and tweak it as you like. As I've stated to people who have asked me about this deck before, I don't think it's perfect. I don't think this list is the final list, but so far the consistency that this deck has generated has been incredibly strong. I haven't really lost many games with it yet. The only time I have is just because I've suffered like not optimal draws. So like, for some reason I'll end up drawing all my blue cards, which, you know, I only run 19, so it's really hard for that to happen when I'm playing such a green-heavy deck. But things like that happen. Other than that, though, the deck is really strong. I just wanted to get this deck profile out quickly so you guys have more content to absorb, more things to think about as we move forward. I know I've been doing like 1 a day, which is kind of insane, but just enjoying this new format, just been exploring it a lot, and I'm going to be having more deck profiles to finish out the week. And like I said, I'm playing some games tonight with Pat, and hopefully we'll be streaming those on Twitch. So otherwise, thank you guys so much for all your support. Beard Collectibles is best collectibles. Check out Finna Gaming, sign yourself up for an Octagon tournament. I hope you guys have a great evening, night / release. Get yourself some crads. Okay, bye!